So during astral projection, somebody can trap us.
Yes, that is possible. So there are many organizations such as the CIA, the three-letter agencies. There are many countries that have been training spies and people in secret black ops and projects and groups where they are highly trained, but they're not working for our highest good. So some of these people are trained in psychic abilities, in remote viewing, in astral projection. They're highly trained, highly skilled, and I do believe they also have technology that can trap a soul into a certain dimension when they're out of their body. Yes, I believe that does happen. I don't think it's that common, but I do believe it happens.
So can we spy on a particular person via astral projection?
Yes, absolutely.
Have you ever done that?
I would say that yes.
So can we know who we are going to marry or with who we are going to work, or what kind of profession we will take through astral projection?
Yes, we can gain access to answers that are in the future. But that is also an aspect or leading into the Akashic records, where there is which contain, so the Akashic records contain all information within the universe. It's like a cloud of a storage cloud of everything within the universe, not just humans and being able to read someone's Akashic records, but it's the records for everything that exists in the universe.
If you are an author ready to self-publish or share your voice with the world, visit blazegoldburst.com, your portal to publishing, visibility, and global impact. Also, support this movement by diving into Lords or Inner Children by Gita Shripani and Reversed Order Existence by Blaze Goldburst. Soma Arah is a Pleiadian and Lyran Starseed, a galactic intuitive medium and channel. She shares messages from the Pleiadians to help people remember who they really are.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, Blaze.
How are you?
I'm very well. I'm delighted to see you.
I'm delighted too. So my first question is, have you ever encountered entities in the astral realm that seemed to control aspects of our physical reality?
You have such great questions. Yes, absolutely. So one of my experiences that comes to mind is an experience I had in the dream time when I was actually on the astral. And it was in 2009, I think. No, before that, sorry. 2000 and between 2006 and 2010. And I was taken up onto, it was during an abduction experience with the Greys, where I was taken up on board. And I have written about this particular experience in my book called The Pleiadian Child. So if people are interested in finding out more about the experience itself, it's in my book. But I'll explain the experience. I was taken up on board onto a grey ship, a ship owned by grey alien beings, the small ones. And I was held in a vortex of energy where I couldn't get back into my body. So there are beings in the astral that do have control over our movements. I do believe they were using some kind of technology to not allow me to get back into my body. It felt like there was a shield or an energy force where I couldn't get back into my body. And that did it seemed to wear off after a while, and then I was allowed to, or able to, get back into my body. So yes, there definitely are beings in the universe, and on higher dimensions, that are able to control our movements on the astral. And also, I'd like to add as well that on the astral, it seems to me that we can also, as humans, we can also get pulled or taken, especially when we're sleeping, into different places, spaces, and experiences. And a lot of the time, that feels very negative to me. I often get pulled or drawn or encouraged on the astral to go to places that I wouldn't normally go to in my physical everyday reality. And some of those places can be very dark as well.
You said that they were using some kind of technology. What was that exactly?
I'm not sure what they were using, but because I've been experiencing the astral plane since I was a very small child, around the age of 7, that I remember, and I'm sure before that. But so I'm very used to coming in and out of my body, and also with the channeling. But the technology, I'm not sure. I couldn't. I'm not 100% sure what it looks like, or how to describe it, but it definitely was something that they used, and it had to have been technology. Couldn't have been anything else.
Was it some kind of ancient technology?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so. I believe it was like some type of technology on a higher dimension that affects all other dimensions.
The audience would like to know more about your journey, how it started.
How my journey started. Okay, so when I was very young, I was having very out of body experiences, a lot of paranormal experiences with spirit, with angels, with the Pleiadians, with nature fairies. I was kind of born awake, aware, and conscious of other beings, other realities, energy, telepathy. Dream time was very prominent with me. I was having a lot of, every night I would be leaving my body and having these beautiful experiences. And I also connected to the Pleiadians at a very young age of 8 that I can consciously remember. And so when I look back now on my childhood, it seems like I was being prepared and being taught, actually, being governed, and not ruled, but being shown and being educated and being taught, really, by my guides and the Pleiadians and light beings.
You have a lot of psychic abilities. Can you talk more about that?
Okay. So again, that everything for me started in my childhood. So I grew up with spirit. I grew up being aware of energies, being aware that I was different. My psychic abilities are kind of off the scale, but as a lot of other people's are, and I believe that that is because, as starseeds, we are part hybrids. So we are born with these extra sensory abilities that are in our DNA, in our blood, in our part of our soul essence. And they are off the scale when it comes to starseeds. And because we come in from out there, in the universe, we come in as beings that are that are different, with a different DNA, a different frequency, heightened ability, which includes subcategories such as indigos, rainbows, and a lot of other categories like healer and shaman and light worker. And but the main category is starseed and stroke hybrid. We're not from here, so we naturally, innately have brought in these extra sensory abilities.
If a common person wants to understand what a star seed exactly is, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as the universe being full of life, teeming with life. There is life everywhere in the universe, and there's much proof of that and much research. And we are, as soul beings, we travel the universe from place to place, lifetime to lifetime, in different places. So a starseed and a hybrid is kind of they go hand in hand, because if you're a starseed, you're normally a hybrid. It's the same side of, it's a different side of the same coin. So they go hand in hand. But a starseed is someone who has had at least one lifetime, maybe thousands of lifetimes, on a different planet or star system, that comes from somewhere. So I would be Pleiadian hybrid and also Lyran. So there are different predominant dominant positive alien races, such as the Pleiades and Lyrans and Syrians. So that is what a starseed is. It's someone who is born into a physical body, a human body, but comes from somewhere else.
So you are different from the rest of the population.
Yes, but I believe there are 144,000 starseeds, because we did come en masse. And I often have this image of, actually, a psychic image of seeing us coming from above, en masse together. So I see a large crowd sometimes coming down from above en masse. And so, yes, I'm different, but I'm also part of a larger group of starseeds that came to Earth for this lifetime, because it's so important. It's part of the evolution of not just humanity and the Earth, but the universe.
There are a lot of things that I'm learning from you. It's quite new to me.
Well, I feel that you're very much a starseed.
How do you recognize that?
I feel energy. I would be empathic, and in the extreme level. So I feel energy. I feel your vibration. I feel your aura, even from a distance. And I'm also able to read from psychically from a distance. Sorry, but on a soul level as well. Even as a child, I would be looking into people's eyes and being able to see the Akashic records and their past lives and what's going on with them, and just so much information from people's eyes, and also photographs as well. So these are some of the abilities that starseeds have that sometimes can go unrecognized or undeveloped, depending on the person's contract and soul evolution. But for me, I was highly traumatized as a child, mostly by sexual abuse. And every time that would happen, I would leave my body and connect in with the Pleiadians.
And now I'm getting very curious. What did you learn about me by just seeing me?
Well, that you are a bright light, that you are an exceptional soul, that you are going to reach you already have a large audience but I've also seen with you that you are going to increase that by 10. So I've seen that you will, as your work goes on, and as you will attract a lot of attention. I've seen that your energy is different, that you stand out, which is typical characteristic of Starseed. I see that you're shining. I see that you're very energetically very clean, very clear, very clairvoyant. You also have mediumship ability as well, I'm being told, and clairaudient ability where you can hear spirit. So I would definitely class you in the Starseeds category, most definitely. And you are this lifetime, you are shining and full of abundance. Full of abundance. And I feel that those two things are very intertwined for you this lifetime. Your ability to shine to others and the abundance that it attracts from others. They for you, that's part of your soul contract. That's like the yin and yang, where it's a spiral that's working together. So two coils that go up in a spiral shape, they're working together. The abundance and the purity of your spirit shining through to others. You'll have a very big heart. And I do see travel on the cards for you as well, to either America or Canada.
Thank you. I'm feeling honored that you are saying a lot of things about me, which I believe could be true.
Thank you.
I was very curious because I'm new to everything and I'm learning constantly. And I was like very interested to have you on the show also, because I saw that you have a lot of knowledge, vast experiences, and you have a lot to impart to the society.
Thank you, Blaze. It's it's part of my mission. And I know that on a very deep, profound level, because I had, during my shamanic training, I had, it was a weekend where we were doing ayahuasca, and we were all laid on the floor in blankets, and there was shamanic drumming, and there was a lot of sacred ceremony going on, and we were doing shamanic journeys at the time, and I was taken out of my body and shown, I was taken out of my body and into the universe, and I was shown very clearly what my mission is this lifetime. And part of that is to be a channel for the Pleiadians, and because I have such a strong connection to them, it's off the scale, really is. So I'm not alone in that. There's thousands of starseeds that have similar missions for this lifetime, because this lifetime is so important. We're here to change the humanity consciousness and to change the earth itself, because there was a call put out a long time ago by very real beings that lived on earth or came to earth, and they saw humanity enslaved by alien race that had invaded earth at the time of Atlantis. So there was a call put out to the universe, where beings from other star systems, other planets, other galaxies, other universes came to earth en masse in this lifetime, to help upgrade, to help expand, to help to help with the evolution of humanity. Because, and here's the thing, because it affects everything in the universe, the evolution that we're going through now is not limited to Earth. How could it be? The whole universe is evolving and expanding, and that is part of ascension. So a lot of us heard the call, and that's why we're here for this specific lifetime.
My next question, is it possible that When we astral project, we are actually visiting parallel worlds where different versions of us exist.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we are. There are, so the way I see it, the way I've been shown is two columns. And on this column of light and this column of dark, on this column, there is different levels, different dimensions, and we're on the third in the physical human reality is the 3D. There are ones that are lower than that, and there's also higher. So higher, when we leave our body, we go into a different dimension, which is where spirit lives. But also there's different levels, so we could go into different ones. We normally go into the next. When you go into a lift, you go up and you go through all the different floors. So normally we go to the next one, and then to the next one, next one, next one, and that can be a training over our lifetime where we learn the next one, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, and keep going up and up until we are comfortable and know those places well. Then we go to the next and the next and the next and the next. So, and then you've also got the negative side, because everything that exists on the positive, there's always a negative. So if you have angels, you have demons. If you have light, you have dark. If there's a positive, then there is a negative. But yes, we do. When we sleep, we naturally leave our body and enter the astral plane.
Does a negative side of us exist in a parallel world?
Yeah, I believe that there are multiple us. So there's multiple blazes, there's multiple somas in different dimensions, in different timelines, in different realities, in different galaxies, in different universes, in the past, present, and future. So we are multi-dimensional, multifaceted, everything. Where we are not who we think we are. We are so much more. We are the droplets of the ocean, which is God, or source, or consciousness itself. We are individual droplets of that. And we also are multiple. We multiply.
So, an evil aspect of us also exists in another realm.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah.
Could someone get trapped in another dimension while astral projecting? What happens if they can't return?
Well, this is interesting, and I've come across this recently, and I won't mention names, but yes, I believe that people can get trapped, not naturally, but with the technology by negative beings or negative alien beings as well, whether they're greys or reptilian. Also I believe they can also get trapped by human beings that would be highly trained working for organizations like the 3-letter organizations in America. So
during astral projection, somebody can trap us.
yes, that is possible. So there are many organizations such as the CIA, the 3-letter agencies. Also, there are many countries that have been training spies and people in secret black ops and projects and groups where they are highly trained, but they're not working for our highest good. So some of these people are trained in psychic abilities, in remote viewing, in astral projection. They're highly trained, highly skilled, and I do believe they also have technology that can trap a soul into a certain dimension when they're out of their body. Yes, I believe that that does happen. I don't think it's that common, but I do believe it happens.
So we can't return back if we get trapped.
I think that it's very difficult. I think that's very difficult. I think that in that situation, it would take a lot of energy. It would take a lot of willpower in the extreme of that soul to want to get back, to call on and work with their guides, with spirit, with the Pleiadians or similar. And I think it would take an outside influence working with that soul to help them to get back into their body. I think that is very difficult. And I think they would need help to get back. I think by themselves, I don't think you can really do that.
Have you ever met a future version or past version of yourself in an alternate reality during an astral projection?
I have. And also not even just in an astral projection, but just in normal mind state. I have, yeah. There's one experience I had. Was just coming home from finishing a weekend of the shamanic training, and I was putting my key in the door, and it only lasted, the first time it happened, it only lasted a few seconds, but I had this mental image come to me, almost in like a beam of light, and it was an image of myself, but I was somewhere else out there. And it came and it was gone as quick as, but it was just long enough for me to see it. And that was years ago. That was in 2010, I think, or 2011. But more recently, since 2019, 2020, I've been having a lot of those experiences, mostly on the astral at the beginning, where I was leaving my body and I was seeing myself, but it was different. Things were different. There was slight changes in the life that I was living, but it was me. And so I didn't understand what was happening at first, but I realized that I was experiencing different timelines on the astral of myself. So, and that really only started for me in 2020, 2019. So that is interesting, yeah. So we have multiple, we are able to occupy more than one body in the past, present, future, in different timelines, in different dimensions, in different realities. And it fascinates me, the whole subject.
Have you received any kind of message from the other version of yourself?
Yes. Yes, I have. It is to slow down, is to breathe, is to take my time, is to be more patient with myself, is to breathe in, accept higher frequencies, higher energies, to allow, to really, I guess the message for myself would be to allow my, and this is also a message for your audience, but to allow the energy to flow. So visually, if I had to describe that, it would be when you pour a glass of lemonade or something that is bubbly, just allow the bubbles to raise to the surface, because often we try to contain and control things within our own energy, within our own life, within our own frequency and vibration and awareness. We often try to control and analyze, and we question everything. So the message from me, because I do question everything, the message for me would be to just be lighter in myself, allow the flow of energy to work to my highest potential, and stop trying to contain my energy, because I think naturally we are limitless, and energy has fluidity and movement. It moves naturally, like smoke or air or wind or breath. That is also how we are on a soul level. So just allow myself to move with the new frequencies and the new energies.
Some people say deja vu is a memory from a parallel reality. Do you believe this happens due to accidental astral travel?
I believe it can, but I don't think that deja vu is limited to that. I think a lot of the time deja vu it can be from the past lives. Also, I've over the years I've had lots of experiences where I've dreamt of a premonition. In the astral, I've been dreaming of something that would happen, and then it happens. So that is also deja vu, but it's not from a previous lifetime. It's from the astral, where I've left my body and I have dreamt of a future event, and then it's actually happened. So deja vu is different reasons or different explanations. One is a past life, and then the other is also on the astral, when you leave your body and you experience things from the past, present, or future, which show up and happen in the 3D reality, that you think, oh, you remember it, but it can be on the astral.
Do you remember your recent past life?
Yes, I do. I was one of those children that, from a very young age, that was having a lot of experiences, and one of them would be I was remembering my past lives when I was very small. So we used to live in South Africa, and I was born in Namibia, but my mum is Irish, and she emigrated to South Africa for about 20 or 30 years. And she had me when she was around 40. And then she was going through a separation from her husband. So we left Namibia, we left South Africa. And so she did move around a lot. You know, she went from Namibia to South Africa to different places within Africa. So when she separated from her husband, she moved to Dublin. And when I was with her, and and she knew I had never been to Dublin before in Ireland. And yet I was having a memory as we were walking the streets, the roads, of being there before. And I remembered my past life as a man, and I was telling her the road names and what was around the corner and the buildings, and I couldn't read at this time, so I wasn't able to read the street names or the road names. So she understood that I had information from somewhere else, because I wasn't able to read, and I must have been about 4, 5 maybe at the time, so I was very young, and she knew I hadn't been there before. So I think I would have raised a lot of questions for her, like, how, this is my daughter, but how, and I know that she hasn't been here before, so how does she possibly know? She must be getting this information from somewhere. I would have raised a lot of questions for her about reality.
What is your opinion about karma?
Oh, that's interesting. So I was very involved in the Buddhist religion for quite a while, a good few years. I believe karma is very real. I believe that that is how the universe works, and energy and vibration and consciousness and frequency. You get what you give out. your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, and it doesn't have to be spoken, it can be unspoken. We attract we attract what we are, we attract our thoughts, our visions, our energy, our consciousness. So when we do good, we attract good. When we do bad, we attract bad. Having said that, I think times have changed. I think the karma that we used to have for eons, I do believe that is coming to an end, and we are no longer operating on, as humanity, as a species, is no longer operating on that basis. I think karma has changed most recently over the last 10 years, where we are more books that are unwritten. There's a more expandedness there with karma. So I believe karma has really changed the last 10 years, even 5 years.
Why sometimes good or innocent people have to suffer so much in the hands of bad people or manipulative people or toxic people?
I think that is also, I think there's different reasons. I think one is karma, which is, it feels like karma is being phased out naturally to allow for evolution and ascension. But I think that there are, in the past, most definitely, there's been karmic experiences where, so as a child, Blaze, I had a very, very traumatic childhood. I was in the extreme. To the point of being raped at the age of 12 and becoming pregnant at the age of 12. But whenever I had an experience like that, on the other hand, I was also having the most amazing, beautiful, profound, out of this world experiences, where I would leave my body and connect to the Pleiadians. So what I learned from that is that from the most devastating experiences are where we grow the most. I'll give you a perfect example. So when I was 12, I also wanted to, and I think it was around the same time, I also wanted to end my life. I didn't want to be here. And it wasn't a cry for help. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I didn't want to know anything. I just wanted to isolate and leave my body. I didn't want to be there. I was done. And I lay down and I was crying and retching and very snotty, with tears. And I was deciding on taking tablets. And I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to tell anyone. I just wanted to leave. And I was very serious about it. I was done, And then I had this, I experienced where I left my body and went up to it was actually on the right-hand side of the room, and left my body on the astral and connected to Jesus or Yeshua. And I was gone for about 3 or 4 hours. I was gone for a long time. And I was distraught when I left. And when I came back, I was blissful. I was gone from one to the opposite. And I knew it was real and I never told anyone, not for a good 30 years, not my family, no one, not a soul I tell. But when I came back, my energy was blissful. And that lasted about 3 or 4 weeks until it gradually ebbed away. And so that is a good example to give of the most devastating situations that we go through can bring the biggest teachings and lessons and experiences if we can cope, if we are strong enough, if we can deal with it. Some people are not strong enough to cope with, or don't play out that scenario where they are strong enough. So, but the worst disasters in our lives is where we can grow the most.
My next question is, Can astral projection be used to switch timelines and enter a different reality where life circumstances are better?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so. Um, absolutely. And I also believe that we can choose when to leave our bodies. And when we do that, sometimes we enter into a different timeline. So we incorporate the soul or the body that we just left with the soul that we're in now into a different timeline. So it's kind of like,
Reincarnation.
no, but it's us gelling or melding into a more complete aspect of ourselves in another timeline.
Is it difficult to astral project?
I don't believe so, but I believe that it's something people can train in and learn. It's, yeah, it's something we can train. It's something like cooking. We can train to be a cook or a painter or an artist, or it's a skill that can be learned.
I have a curious question. Are you able to see angels and spirits and ghosts, whatever? Are you able to?
Yes, all the time.
Is there anyone present in your space right now?
The Pleiadians, also some of your spirit guides, and some of your loved ones in spirit. Um,
Anyone present in the moment? Anyone present in the moment right now, watching you,
with me or with you?
with me and you both of us?
Okay. I would say that there is a granny with you and also a granddad, and that you have a spirit around you a lot at night time. Some of your family ancestors would have come from the land, so they would have been, I guess, farming or working with the land, growing, farming, very land connected to the land, very connected to the land in your ancestors. And with me, definitely the Pleiadians are around. Also Syrian are around. Also Lyra are around now. My Native American spirit guide is Black Elk, is also here. And there's also other Native American guides that I work with that some have recently passed away. And one is called Chief Golden Light Eagle, who used to do the star conferences.
I would like to know more, like ancestors from which side, mother's or father's side?
I would say both, but more mum.
My grandfather or from mother's side or father's side present right now?
I would say both, but more on your mum's side.
And farming people. You said someone is my ancestors.
Farming, yes. So maybe not for profit, but they definitely lived on the land. They lived, I see kind of remote area, but from that remote area, I am able to see a city. So they would have had very flat land, with where you could see for miles and miles, and in the far distance, I can see a city. I'm not sure what country I'm in. It's not Western. It's not a Western country. So, but I can see for miles. So there's a very flat, plain land with just grass and fields, and not many trees or obstacles in the way, because the site is like there's nothing in between the city and so there's no trees, or it's not a built up area. It's a flat area.
And you also said there is a spirit lurking at night in my place.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say lurking, because that's that's kind of a negative feeling.
Because there is a light bulb in my kitchen. It just switches on and off automatically all the time,
Yeah,
even if there is no problem at all.
yeah.
So we are thinking, what could be the issue? So I got really curious. You
Well,
said,
there you have it. Yeah. Spirit does do things like that. Um, to let us know that they're here, that they haven't gone anywhere. They've moved into a higher dimension, which is the astral plane, or where spirit lives, um, but they're still around us. Love is a powerful force. um,
can you tell me more about this spirit that is inside my home from the past many months?
I feel it's a female that is trying to connect and get your attention and let you know that thank you, that she's still around. I don't feel that she would have been very tall, not more than 5'6", quite small, a physique, um, quite a playful, fun personality. Thank you, connections to New York. 4 is important, or April. November's important. She's talking about the food, and the cooking is important to diet, health, nutrition. I feel that she was very aware, very knowledgeable. Thank you. Very knowledgeable about food and nutrition and family. She's also showing me that 6 is important. January, February, March, April, May, June, or June. Also, November is important.
Does he have any good intention towards us, to my family, to me?
Yes, she is friendly. She is a good person, a good spirit, quite highly strung when she was here in the physical. And I'm not sure if she's family or if she's a friend, but I feel that she would have passed away quite recently. And when I say that, I mean within the last 3, 4, 5 years. So she's recently passed away. I just have to confirm. She showed me 2, meaning that 2 is important. I don't know if it's February, or I'm not sure what that is.
So, coming to the question, have you heard of anyone who claims to have died in the physical world but continued existing in another reality due to astral projection?
No, I can't say I have. Although I'm sure that does happen. I'm sure people do die and move into a different timeline. So I'm sure it does happen, yeah. But I haven't heard of anyone that is famous or well known that has done that.
Have you ever had a near death experience?
Yes. Yes, I have. When I was 12, the experience earlier that I was sharing with Jesus it was actually an out of body experience, which is kind of similar to a near death. So yes, that was one of them.
So, did it feel painful, the near death experience? Or
No,
was it
no,
blissful?
it was so blissful in the extreme. I was blissful for 3 or 4 weeks. And then gradually that ebbed away. But I went from wanting to commit suicide and not wanting to be here in my physical body, and then to going into such a blissful state. Uh, yeah, just pure blissful, like nothing really mattered, in a good way.
People are usually afraid of death. So, what is your belief that after we die, where do we go? And is it painful? Because the body will stop breathing.
Well, I believe we go into a higher dimension, which is sometimes known as the astral, or we do call it the astral, but it's a higher dimension. It's where spirit goes. You know, they go up and they leave the body. And I think sometimes the physical pain of death can be painful, such as, you know, a disease or a condition, or depending on how the body dies, if it's instant or if it's something, a condition that takes a long time. You know, the body can become very painful in that process. But when we leave the body, there is no pain, and it's beautiful. From my experience, the higher dimensions, the astral plane, is a beautiful place.
Are there beings in the astral realm who influence world events, money, and relationships in our reality?
Yes, most definitely. And that would be on the more negative side of the spectrum of different beings in other higher dimensions and realities. Predominantly, a lot of alien or reptilian beings that are operating in a negative way, because that is where their consciousness is at. Yes, they do control money systems. They do control, and there's a lot of black magic used on money systems, which is why,
Like how? Black
uh,
magic.
yes, so the elites and people like the Rothschilds, the royal families, the people at the very top of so the Rothschilds and people, the elites, people, you know, people who are very extremely wealthy, I believe, are using black magic to control money, which is why they have so much, and the rest of humanity has, in comparison, has so little.
So I have a question. Does spells work? People are nowadays selling spells.
I believe spells work. I believe they can be very dangerous. Of course, you can have good and bad spells, but yes, I believe both work.
How can we save ourselves from it?
By raising our frequency, that would be the best way, I think, because when you are operating on such a high frequency, it is hard for the spells or the dark agenda or energies to affect you, because the light is stronger, the sun is stronger than the positive energy, is stronger than dark energy or negative energy. Love is the strongest frequency in the universe, and that can expel or negate or get rid of dark energy or spells or curses. Love is breaks free.
If we meet a deceased loved one while astral projecting, are we in the afterlife or are we in a parallel world where they never died?
No, I believe they did die, and I believe that we are connecting with them on the astral, which is a higher dimension. So I believe they did physically die, their body died. Their soul is intact and unaffected. They've just moved into a higher level.
So we are meeting them in the astral plane only and not in some or not in some afterlife.
Well, the astral is the afterlife. It's
Like
well, the afterlife is, so you've got the astral, you've got the afterlife, you've got the spirit world. All is the same thing. It's the same thing.
so astral projection is the key to traveling to these realms.
Yes.
So how is the spirit world like? Can you tell more about it?
To me, it's a beautiful space that is unrestricted by the physical reality, unrestricted by the logical mind.
Can astral projection be used as a tool for spying on people or uncovering secrets from other timelines?
Yes, absolutely. There are many countries, perhaps all countries, that have used spies and trained people within the astral plane and astral projection to be very skilled in those in astral projecting and remote viewing in order to gain information on what other countries are doing.
So, can we spy on a particular person via astral projection?
Yes, absolutely.
Have you ever done that?
I would say that yes,
Please share more about it.
I've also had it done to me as well. So sometimes in the past, I've been aware that I'm being watched on the astral. And sometimes I do get a sense of who the person is. But there's a colleague of mine, Elizabeth April, who's very, have you heard of her? She's very talented in remote viewing. Yeah.
So, what happened exactly? Can you tell me? When you spied on the other person, what did you learn? Did you get all your answers?
I was just really observing. I didn't go to get anything. I just was an observer to see curiosity and interest. So I didn't go with questions or with a motive or an agenda, or I just observing.
Can hypnosis help in astral projection? Like we can astral project through hypnosis. There are so many tracks available on YouTube. Can it help someone? Or
Yeah, I think that's a great way. And also meditation really is the key. Meditation, because it learns to quieten, it teaches us to quieten the mind and still the mind, the logical mind that says, I can't do this. This is not achievable. This is not what we are taught that we can do, such as astral projection and a lot of the esoteric subjects and abilities.
can someone use astral projection to visit a future version of themselves who is already rich, successful, or in their dream relationship?
Yes, yeah. We can, on the astral, we can visit the past, present, future on every dimension in every universe, in every galaxy. So the astral plane is where our soul can explore in every direction, in every timeline. It can explore everything in existence, past, present, and future. It is a freedom of movement.
So, can we know who we are going to marry or with who we are going to work or what kind of profession we will take through astral projection?
Yes, we can gain access to answers that are in the future, but that is also an aspect or leading into the Akashic records, where there is which contain, so the Akashic records contain all information within the universe. It's like a cloud of a storage cloud of everything within the universe, not just humans and being able to read someone's Akashic records, but it's the records for everything that exists in the universe.
You talked about Akashic records. How do you read someone's Akashic records? Like, what information should they send you, or by just seeing their face?
What I do really is, so this goes back to the abilities that we came in with as starseeds. You know, we are extraordinary, extra terrestrial, extra. There's a lot of words that are coming to mind: extraordinary, extraterrestrial, extra observant, extra. We have a lot of abilities that are in the extreme, and one of those that I have is predominantly is being able to read people's soul level and their Akashic record, which includes their Akashic records, and sometimes by looking into their eyes, sometimes by closing my eyes and reading their imprints, their blueprints, their soul imprints or prints.
What kind of future will I have, according to you?
Very bright, full of abundance, many, many, many connections, very public figure, travel, America or Canada. There's family or friends or connections in America or Canada, either now or to come.
Financial state.
You don't need to worry. There is a lot of abundance. There's more abundance coming for you than you could have dreamed of.
Will I be happy or depressed that time?
No, extremely happy, extremely comfortable. This life is very easy for you. This lifetime, it just flows because of your energy. And that's not to say you haven't had problems in the past. You, on a soul level, it's a very easy life for you, this one. Yeah. In comparison to some of the others you've had that have been very difficult. You've very good karma this life.
Will I be single or married?
I don't think you'll ever be single.
Okay. Let's keep that a mystery because I don't want to see the future right now.
Okay.
If we enter a parallel reality where we are already successful, can we bring that energy or knowledge back to shift our current reality?
Yeah, again, absolutely. We can draw energies with us. Yeah, we can, it's almost like we can pull energies in. Yeah. And we can push energies away as well. So, yeah.
So from past life also we acquire the knowledge and bring it to this life also.
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes in a very physical way with scars or the way we died, we can physically be reborn with scars of how we died. So sometimes it's not an energy, sometimes it's a physical scar as well, which is an imprint, a very physical imprint of an energy.
What kind of a future life do you want to see for yourself?
One that is abundant with, well, having said that, I have been shown my future self in previous experiences. So what I see is more abundance, more connections with people, more of me stepping into my own power and achieving my goal, my mission on earth. That's what I see. I see that door really opening up, because that is what the Pleiadians want. That is what my soul contract is to be a channel for them and for them to get their message to as many people as possible through many different people, not just me. Yeah, and I'm very happy to be doing my mission. I just see, so as my consciousness does raise with my age and experience, because that is what I focus on a lot, is raising my consciousness and then maintaining it and then raising it again and again and again and maintaining it. So it's raising, maintaining, raising, maintaining. So that's what I see, and that will bring more abundance in every way.
Great. So my next question, do different timelines contain different destinies for us? If so, how can we choose the best one through astral projection?
By raising our frequency. The love frequency really is the key to everything. It's the heart, it's the source of so much. So when and love frequency, they often talk about it, and they often say that love is a frequency that can be measured. And if it can be measured, it can be created. Consciousness itself expands through the heart energy. So when your heart is open, you're more expansive, you're more conscious, you're more awake, you're more aware, you're more operating on a higher level. So love is really everything. Love is creation itself, is God. Love is God. Love is, and if it's an energy that can be measured,
So we can choose our own destiny.
yes, we do. We are creators. We're born to create, to create our own evolution. We are the God source itself, having an individual experience. God's source is very creative. So, and we are the individual droplets of that.
So, according to you, what happens to spiritually aware people and those who are not aware? What is the difference between them?
I would describe it. There are very ancient souls living on Earth. Some of them as starseeds who have had thousands of lifetimes and experiences and learned many lessons within those different lifetimes, whether they be on Earth or on other planets and star systems. And then there are very young souls that are new souls that don't have all of that experience, that haven't lived anywhere else, that are have no experience, no wisdom, no understanding, no previous past lives anywhere. So there are very young souls and then very old souls. And sometimes you can see that in people. When you see a baby or a young child, you can tell just by how they are that they are very old, very wise. And then sometimes you can meet an elderly person that is very unaware of even themselves, of anything really. So in that sense, you can see that the young child would know more than the elderly person.
Could negative thoughts or limiting beliefs from a past life or parallel world be blocking someone's ability to manifest wealth?
Yes, it all comes down to energy, frequency, and vibration. So what we've done in the past does matter, has mattered, but karma is kind of ceasing to exist, where the slate of the past is being wiped clean. So yes, there are many aspects that make up. So we've had many past lives that all affects this one now.
I have a question. What happens to people who break their promises? What kind of karma they face?
That's a difficult one because I think it's very individual. I think it.
From your perspective, you can answer. If
Okay.
someone promised you something and they did not keep their word, and you felt somewhere betrayed or something like that, in any situation, be it personal life, work life, anything.
I would say that both people on both sides need to forgive, accept, let go, and move on, and to not hold grudges. I think we need to let go of expectations, especially in relationships and with sexual relationships. We need to let go of expectations. We need to let go of judgment, of grudges, of all of that kind of energy, and just accept that not everything. Sometimes people can't deliver, not because they don't want to, but just because they can't, you know.
How do you realize somebody has a bad intention towards you from your perspective? How can you recognize someone is not good for you in any way, relationship, work, or you meet someone? Because some of us are not able to recognize people easily because people wear a mask. So, how do you recognize them?
I feel it. I feel it. And I see it as well. I see sometimes people do wear masks, and that is just because they're disconnected from themselves. I wouldn't say that's a good thing, but yeah, I feel energy. So I am, and I'm also able to see. I read people very well because as a child, I was in a very unsafe environments, and I really learned how to read energy and auras and use my clairvoyance and abilities to see if I was safe with this man, if I was safe with this person or with this teacher. And often I wasn't, but I really honed in on my skills at a very young age to be able to, because I needed to know if I was safe with people or not.
So, any tip for common people who get trapped by wrong people, common good people? Any tip for them how they can save themselves from such energies or from such individuals? What should they do? How do they recognize them?
Yeah. I would say that meditation is the biggest key to unlocking our own intuition. So it's all about getting in touch with ourselves and accepting our intuition when we feel it or see it, or I often feel it in my stomach when I get a sense of psychic ability, or someone that I should get away from quickly. I feel it in my stomach like a pulsating energy. It's similar to that pre-interview nerves, a job interview nerves. You know, when you go for a job interview and you get this stomach energy that's kind of pulsating, it's similar to that. But I would say that that those people really need to trust their own intuition and work with that and feel into it. How does that person or place or situation or energy make me feel? Or even a food. And then listen to your own intuition, your own guidance, because we all have it. We all innately are psychics and have extrasensory abilities. So I would say listen to your own inner voice.
What if someone does good acting for a very long time, like being a very good friend to you for like many years, and then you suddenly realize they have been a false friend, fake friend?
Well, I would say that there are things to be looked at within yourself, perhaps in the meditation, to look at why, what, where, who, why, how, sorry, what, where, why, who, to look at the situation and understand it on a higher level.
So, another question: how can someone find people of high vibration in this modern world?
The internet, I would say, is a great place to start. Yeah. So it's kind of like a catch-22, that situation, because we also need to raise our own frequency in order to attract high vibrational beings. We are what we attract. So it's kind of the yin and yang, or the kind of like the snake eating its own. It's the same side of the different the different sides of the same coin, so it goes hand in hand. You know, we are what we attract. So if we want to attract a certain type of people, we need to be that. We need to be the vibration or the frequency or the abundance that we want to attract. We need to be that in order to attract it in.
So, my next question to you, apart from this, do you believe we have met before in some past life?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
What makes you feel that we have?
The connection, the love, the frequency, the vibration, the feeling I get from you. I just feel it. I've always been able to do that even as a child. When I first met my granddad, because we came from South Africa, we came back to Ireland. When I met my granddad, I knew that I had met him before, and we both knew it, you know. You know when you've met someone before because you just click. You just click with them. You can feel something. You can feel an energy of familiarity, of sameness, of similarity, of just a sense of a recognition of, I know this person. Whether it's someone interviewing you, or it's someone that you're in a relationship with, or it's a mum, or it's a granddad, or it's a boss, or it's a co-worker. There are people we meet that instantly we resonate with, instantly. And yet there are people that we can have known our whole lives, and there's no connection. So yeah, I do.
Have you ever encountered astral beings who gave you secrets about manifesting money, love, or success?
Yeah. Mostly money. Um,
Share more about it.
oh, um, so I would have had experience with different light beings who in the past would have guided me very strongly in how to attract more abundance. But there's also an aspect there of having a relationship with the beings that I work with, because I've been working with them since I was a child. So it's like any relationship, it builds as time and experience goes on, and trust and solidness as well, the foundation. So in trusting the relationship, whether it's a physical relationship or a relationship with Jesus, it doesn't really matter. It's what matters is the connection. So yes, I have worked with beings that do give me advice and information on how to achieve and manifest more abundance. Why wouldn't they? They want us all to step into more of our own self power, and that includes abundance.
How do these beings look like?
Some of them look like Jesus, some of them look Pleiadian, some of them look Lyran or like lions, some of them look like Native American spirit guides. Yeah.
So, can they exactly say when you are going to manifest this amount of money from doing this type of profession or something like that?
I would say allow the flow and allow that energy, that ability. It's an ability. Allow the ability to, let me use the word skill. See it as a skill that you are learning to do, starting with the coffee or a parking space or something small, and increase it. It's a learned skill. It's not something that is haphazard or random. Well, there's no such thing as randomness or coincidences that happen in the universe at all. It's the universe is conscious.
Is it possible that our dreams are actually visits to alternate realities where we already have what we desire?
Yes, they can be both. They can be the best of versions of ourselves, but also the worst versions of ourselves. So they can be both, and everything in between as well.
Is lucid dreaming similar to astral projection?
I don't think there's a difference.
It's the same then.
I yeah,
When we are in deep sleep,
I
we are
think it's the same. Yeah, I think science. I think would call it lucid dreaming, to take away our self empowerment of knowing that it's actually a real astral plane.
so every night when we go to sleep, we are in a deep state of sleep. So we are astral projecting and we are not knowing about it. That we are subverting.
Yes, yes, I would say that. Yeah, sometimes we remember it, and a lot of the time we don't.
Can someone manifest a specific person into their life using astral projection techniques?
I would say so. Yep. I would. Yep. I think that's a lot of how the spies or the people trained in those astral projection circles work as well. But I think that it's sometimes it also would need a physical actions as well.
What if the other person is not interested?
I wouldn't encourage that because we have free will, and I don't think free will should be played with or manipulated. I think we should let people do what they want to do.
So they can only manifest a certain type of person rather than a specific person.
Yeah, I don't think people should try to create something in that way.
So they can manifest certain qualities that they want to see in a certain person. I mean, the person should be loyal, good natured, something like that they can manifest. But not like, I want this ABC person, only this person I want, no one else. This should not be a thing, I guess.
Well, I think there's several aspects within what you're asking. So I think if someone is meant to be for us in a relationship, that will happen. And that's to do with past lives. It's to do with soul contract of both parties. It's to do with energy, frequency, vibration, karma, soul, twin flames, soulmates, twin flames. So there's a lot of aspects going on there, but I think that we shouldn't try to create in such a rigid way when it comes to relationships. I think we should allow things to be more free.
If you meet a soulmate in the astral realm, does that mean they exist in another timeline? And can you bring them into your current reality?
Yes, we all exist in a different timeline. So yes, simply put, yes.
And would they come into our life also? If we desire a lot, pray a lot.
I would say so. Yeah, I think we are creators, and but it's all to do with our own frequency of where we're at. You know, if we're in a low place or depressed or not in a good space, it's going to be 10 times more difficult for us to create positive things, positive energy, positive experiences, positive people into our existence, because we need to be in a good space with good energy, with good frequency, with good emotions, with good vibration, with good thoughts, good reality within us internally. That's where we need to be. So we need to raise, what we really need to do is to raise our frequency, our thoughts, vibration, frequency, energy, and step into a higher energy. And that's what we need to be working on. The love frequency within us. That's what we need to be working on. And that will create the outside external, whether it's money or job or lover or good food, or that's where we need to work on, is internally within how we are.
Does a soulmate with divine qualities exist in this world? Like pure godly qualities?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been, yeah. That's what the gurus have, the genuine gurus. I don't really like the word guru anymore because it's got a negative connotation, but the masters, the spiritually aware, the spiritual teachers of the past and the present and the future, that is what they embody.
So, can someone manifest a soulmate with divine qualities?
Yes, but we attract what we are. So it's like a magnet or a mirror.
So, one needs to be always in a high vibration mode.
I would say to aim for that. It's impossible to always be on a high frequency because we're living in a 3D reality. But when I would say that whenever I get knocked off, or when someone gets knocked off the higher frequency, get back on track and aim for that higher energy, higher frequency awareness, consciousness. It's like falling off a horse, or get back on and create and get back into the energy. Yeah.
What's your take on the idea that the law of attraction is just shifting into a parallel world where what you want already exists?
I would say that's true, but we are existing. There are multiple blazes, multiple Soma Arahs. There are multiple versions of ourselves, past, present, and future, in different timelines. So I don't think there's one that is perfection. I think there are thousands that are existing at the same time in different timelines that are all learning and experiencing different things, both good and bad. So there's no kind of hierarchy of, in that sense. I think they're just having different experiences, some good, some bad, but no one that is perfect, no one timeline that is predominantly perfect. I think they all contain things that we need to learn.
What is your take on the law of attraction? Does it work?
I believe so. I do. I would recommend also Jerry and Esther Hicks. I would recommend Esther Hicks for the, Jerry was her husband, and she's called Esther, and he's passed away now, but she still continues to teach. And I believe she's an expert in law of attraction.
Is reality truly malleable, and can astral projection be the ultimate tool to bend reality and create the perfect life?
Yeah, there's lots we need to learn, and I believe that's absolutely true. Yeah.
So one can create the perfect life that they dream of.
Yeah, it's all energy. It's all energy. It's our thoughts, our manifestations, our visualizations. We are creators. We are creating our own reality. And it's all internal. You know, our thoughts, our beliefs, our visions, our dreams. We are the creators, and nothing is real. It's all being created in the now, and it's let go of everything that you've learned about reality.
Last question to you. If people want to learn more from you, where can they find you and connect with you online?
Thank you so much, Blaze. So really, so my website is somaarah.love. I am mostly on Substack, where you can find all of my work and my videos and everything I do. Substack Soma Arah. And I also have all the usual suspects like YouTube and Rumble and Twitter and Facebook. I also offer readings and channelings, personal channelings, and I also have groups that are free to join. On a Saturday, I have a Saturday group, 7 p.m. Irish time, and a Sunday group, 3 p.m. Irish time, and also a monthly group on the 1st of every month. And so if you want to find out more about those, you can send me an email to the Pleiadianchild@hotmail.com. I also have my books as well, which is also the Pleiadian Child. So I have lots of things going on. And I do weekly channeling in the Saturday and the Sunday group, which I just love. But yeah, come and connect. I love connecting with people. And I love channeling and doing the readings and helping. And I mean, that's part of my mission, is to channel the Pleiadians, whether it's in a reading or in an interview or however they show up.
Thank you so much for joining, Soma.
It's been really lovely, and I hope that we can connect in again.
Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much.